guess what came out of my placenta? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't gathered by the title already, I am no longer pregnant, which I'm super happy about. My team Yellow Baby was born on the 30th of June and we turned Team Pink. I had a little girl. I was lucky enough to record the birth. If you haven't seen that, I will link that in the video and down below for you to watch. If you have watched it, then I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll go into more detail about the birth in this video because it didn't do justice. So, where to start? I had to get up really early in the morning, about 7 o'clock. Did all the last minute checks of my hospital bag, got all the last minute stuff because I wasn't that organised after all. Had a quick shower, got dressed, and then set off to the hospital and got there 5 minutes late, which was a good job because my bed wasn't actually ready when I got in. They were still cleaning it. Checked in, they did all the normal checks they do, stuck me on the monitor to check me and the baby, took my blood pressure, and then spoke what induction method they was going to use. The reason that I was induced wasn't because I was overdue, it was because of reduced movements. My original induction date was meant to be for the 2nd of July, which I was kind of hoping to get to, but unfortunately Lara was being a bit of a drama queen and didn't want to move on that day. So from half 11 they came in, went through all the different methods of induction, which I already knew about anyway because I was induced with Logan. They checked my cervix to see which one would be best and decided to go ahead with the pessary. Before they did that, they was like, we could probably just break your waters, but unfortunately it was a bit too long and still closed, I think she said. I can't remember. I just know I was 2 centimetres dilated at this point. So they went ahead with the pessary, which I was happy about because I knew what to expect. And it happened really fast with Logan on his birth. It worked within 2 hours to get contraction started, and they could remove it as well if it came on too strong. Anyway, from half 11, inserted that. She inserted it really well as well. So she left me on the monitors again. She was like, we'll be back in half an hour. It's quite busy at this point, so they kind of forgot and left me on it for about 50 minutes. But it was a good job because she did not react well to it. She got a bit excitable, as they say. So I got checked for a little bit longer. So whilst that was happening, we were just catching up with Love Island. It was a bit boring whilst waiting to get off the monitors because all I wanted to do was walk around and get things started. I was so determined to get that baby out. But yeah, they came back after being so busy sorting everyone else out. They came back and was like, yeah, that's fine, you can go for a walk now, do all that. So I obviously got dead excited, got straight off the monitor and we went straight downstairs to the canteen and had some food and went for a massive trek around the hospital. I just didn't want to stop walking. I didn't take lifts, I just wanted to do the stairs. Me and Johnny were doing lunges and walking down sideways on the stairs. We were doing everything we could to keep active and get this baby out. I read every old wives' tale on what to do to get things moving, so I was trying them all out on the stairs and around the hospital. Probably looked a bit daft, but yeah, it must have worked eventually. So it was pretty boring for a lot of hours. It got past 3 hours at this point and I literally just looked at Johnny. I was like, this worked with Logan by this point, so I was getting quite impatient and I was feeling a little bit, not disappointed, I don't know the word for it, but it just hit me. I think hormones was like, nah, nothing's happening. So I was feeling a little bit gutted, and my best friend was just finishing work as well. I was like, oh no, please don't rush. I was like, nothing's happening anytime soon. It's probably going to take a long time. It was 24-hour pessary, so to be fair, I thought it was going to happen the next day. I was certain I was going to have a July baby by this point. She didn't listen to me and she came straight to hospital and made me feel loads better because Johnny was not socialising with me that much after our walk. He was too busy watching The Good Doctor and I was just like, yeah, I don't know what to do with myself. It's a bit boring. I tried to have a nap, but I couldn't because I was just too excited and wanted to get things going, but I was too tired to have a walk again at this point. And there is only so much of the hospital you can see. I mean, it's not that big of a hospital. She came and she made it fun and she brought loads of snacks, and me being pregnant and craving everything that's sweet, I was dead happy at this point. And then after a while, Johnny left us two just to talk. So we were just talking about and catching up on loads of stuff, which passed a good 2 hours. And then his friend came up and was all in this small little room with me, and it was claustrophobic. But it was a laugh. I'm not going to complain about that. As stressful as it was with me feeling a bit like, ugh, can't be bothered with this many people around me, we got the TENS machine out and we had a bit of a laugh at that. But you would have seen on the birth video, which they all tried apart from Nathan, because it was too scared to use it. And I don't blame him actually, because the higher setting it's brutal. We was being a little bit loud. We got told off. We all decided to go for a walk because we was all bored at this point and there was nothing to do for all of us. And I was getting fed up, so off we went on another walk after I had my food. And again, just went around the hospital, but it was a bit different with just 4 of us walking around. But I didn't get very far. I got to the back of the hospital where me and Johnny would sit, because I went out a number of times just to go out with him to have a cig and sit. It was a nice little sitting area as well. Well, I say nice, it's a smoking area, but yeah, nicer than where I was sitting and looking at a blue curtain anyway. And it was all laughing and joking and all about doing the baby mama dance, and then suddenly I was like, oh, I think it's starting. Like, I was getting really bad period pains. So I was like, some of these are taking my breath away. I was like, I think I need to go back upstairs and probably get checked out. Before we went upstairs, Johnny was like, oh, okay, we'll take you back up and I'm going to go with Nathan because nothing's happening at the moment, and once you're in labour, just give me a ring and I'll come back. Nice of him, but I didn't mind because Danny was there. Anyway, walking up back to the ward to get checked out, doing the usual, doing lunges, stepping up and down, being dead silly. It was hurting at this point with contractions, so it would definitely, I felt like it was working this time, all the effort I was doing, and I was so tired as well. But anyway, got back up to ward, asked to be seen, and I was waiting a good 20 minutes because obviously it was busy. There was a lot of people giving birth that day. I got shorts and t-shirt on and waited to be seen, and by this point I was getting really hormonal and quite stressed. The pains were coming on quite fast. I had the TENS machine on and that was helping a bit. I got Johnny to rub clary sage, I don't know if that's even how I pronounce it, but he mixed it with coconut oil and rubbed it on my back and on my bump. And then eventually the midwife came in after Johnny insisted that I rush to get her because these pains were getting pretty strong. She came to see me, and instead of checking me, she offered me paracetamol for pain relief. To be fair, I don't even think they believed I was in labour at this point. So she was like, I'll go get some paracetamol and then we'll check you. It felt like the longest wait ever for this paracetamol, and the pains were getting stronger and stronger, and they was getting closer together. In fact, I don't even think there was a break at this point. When it began from the walk, it was a good 5 minutes in between, and at this point I wasn't getting a rest. I don't even think it was a minute between contractions. It was full on. I came back with some Cocodamol and said to sip it. It's not going to be nice because I'm awkward, I can't take tablets, so obviously I take dissolvables, and I was there sipping it. And I normally I'm quite fussy, I'm like, oh, I don't really want medication, but I took it because I was in bloody pain and all I wanted was gas and air at this point. But I wasn't getting gas and air because they hadn't checked me. So I was there sipping it, and she disappeared again and said she would come back and check me after I drank it. And then literally as she left the curtain, I was like, I feel like I need to push. I seriously feel like I need to push, and I started to panic. Normally I'm quite calm. I was quite calm with labour with Logan, so I was going to be quite calm with this one because I knew what to expect. But that sensation of needing to push when you're still in, like, on a ward and not in a labour room, I was like, oh my god, why the baby comes now? So I was thinking like that, and panicking makes it much worse. The pains were getting really bad. So I was starting to panic. Johnny rushed off again and was like, she's feeling like she needs to push, so she rushed back and she's like, I'm going to check. Quickly checked me, and she was pretty bloody rough as well. She was pushing down on the baby's head, and I was like, yep, that hurts. yep, she checked me, see how dilated I were, and she was like, yay, 4 centimetres, we'll go get a chair ready and take you down to labour ward. And I was like, thank God for that, because I need gas and air right now. Just as she left, again, the curtain, it just seems every time she leaves, something else happens straight away. My waters went, well, some of my waters went, and there was quite a bit of blood on the bed, so I must have lost my shirt as well. And then he came with a wheelchair to take me down, and I hopped straight on with the help of Danny and Johnny to get me on it, because I was a bit like, I can't move, it's a bit painful. And I was just breathing through all the contractions at this point and holding on to this chair for dear life and gritting my teeth because it hurt. And then they wheeled me down to labour ward, which felt like ages away, but really it wasn't. It was about a 2-minute journey of that. So I got to the labour room and I pretty much jumped straight off that chair because I just wanted that gas and air straight away. So as soon as gas and air was ready, I jumped straight on the bed and was straight on it. I was so happy after that. It kicked in and I felt more relaxed, and I knew that I was in an environment that it was going to be safe to push soon. After I'd relaxed, the midwife that was going to be delivering the baby checked me. He was like, you're fully dilated, which I was quite shocked about because it didn't really take me that long to get from ward to the labour ward, and it wasn't that long ago that I had my last check. So to get from 4 centimetres to fully dilated was quite amazing. Like, it only took about, I think about 10 minutes, something like that. So on one of my checks, I can't remember if it was just before I got sent to labour ward or when I got to labour ward, they asked me, did I feel the pessary come out? And I was like, no, I thought it was still in. He was like, we can't feel it. Like, oh, okay, I must have like weighed it out and not noticed or something. So anyway, after the checks, contractions were still pretty strong. I was still on gas and air and breathing through him. And then I felt more the need to push, and she told me, she was like, you need to be breathing and then pushing for at least 3 seconds. So I did that and I was able to push for longer. I was just listening what to do naturally, because I think thanks to the positive birth company, I kept calm and followed their advice, and I just knew what to do. Probably because it was my second baby as well, but I was into it. If you've watched my birth video, at this point I was just constantly like this. I just looked asleep through most of my labour. And then when it came to pushing her head out, I believe, I can't really remember it. Like with Logan, I remember the feeling of him coming out. The ring of fire that's the only way I can explain it. But with her, I didn't feel it because I was in my own little world at this point. I had the light that they use, I had my eyes closed and I was just pushing for a really long time. I just remember doing that and he's going, well done, well done. And then all these voices went, like they just went. Everything was quiet. I had like the ringing sounds in my ear and it's just bright light. It's like I died. I know it's drastic, but it's like the same when people have died and come back to life, see a bright light and then they come back. That happened whilst I was giving birth. I didn't die, obviously, but yeah, I had that. And then in the distance, I just heard the midwife's voice going, slow down, slow down, slow down, breathe, breathe. And I came round, like the light had gone, and I just shook my head and was like, what's just happened? And Johnny was like, the head's out. I was like, that was quick. So yeah, that happened, and then last push, baby was out, and it happened that quick. Johnny didn't announce the gender straight away, like as quick as he did with Logan. Like Logan came out and he's got big balls. Oh, we've got a boy, great. With Lara, it took a little bit longer because apparently the cord was in the way, and he was like, I don't know if that's a boy or girl, but as soon as the midwife moved the cord, he was like, it's a girl. And I was like, oh my god, we've got a girl. And then I just saw him and Danny after an hour just hug straight away and have a good cry, and it was really sweet. And I wish that I was able to catch that on camera so they could rewatch that back, but it's just nice to have that memory in my head and for them to also remember it as well. Baby was placed on me, and the midwife saying about skin to skin asked me my feeding method, which was breastfeeding, and she explained all of that, what I already knew, and to let baby feed as soon as she was ready to do so. Asked me if I wanted vitamin K injection for her, which I agreed to. So we had skin to skin first, and then gave me gas and air because before she did the checks, I needed to deliver my placenta, which I got the injection for. Within about 5 minutes it was coming away. I needed a little bit of help with it, I believe, so she was getting it all out. And then guess what came out of my placenta? The pessary. When I got asked where it was and if I'd seen it fall out, no, I didn't. It must have got lost inside me somehow and then come back out. It was a mystery, it shocked everyone, and we still don't know how that happened, but that midwife must have really deeply inserted it. But it worked, that's the main thing. And my labour was only 58 minutes, so it worked really well, even if it did take 9 hours to kick in. After that, she checked to see if I had any tears or any grazes, which I did. I think she said 2, and then gave me advice on how to make it a bit more comfortable when peeing and all that stuff, like spray or wee in the shower, but I didn't need to do that, luckily. It's all been fine, not been stinging, everything's been comfortable. In fact, the recovery has been amazing. I was walking about after Lara had her first feed, which felt like forever. I went for a shower and I was able to get up and feel normal. Went for my shower, had my first wee in the shower like recommended. First time I've ever done that. It's weird. Came out of the shower feeling fresh and brand new, and I just didn't even feel like I've just given birth, if I'm honest. I felt really good. I was really positive after giving birth to her as well. I was walking around and doing everything normal, wasn't in any pain, so I like that. Danny, Johnny and Nathan all left me for a good 20 minutes to just have some time, just me and Lara by ourselves, and I fed her a few more times, and then she got weighed, and she was put on scales and she weighed £6.11, which I was shocked about. She's bigger than Logan, so a nice healthy weight, and you can tell by looking at her because she's not as, I don't want to say chubby, but she's got more meat on her than Logan had. He was all rib and quite long. She's quite dinky and chunky. And after all the phone calls were done and all the pictures and all the cuddles, eventually I got taken back up to ward, which was about, I think it was about 2:30. It's hard to say because the clock we was looking at had a mind of its own. In fact, the labour room I was in was a bit scary. When I was left on my own with Lara, the radio was playing, but it kept stopping and going really quiet, which I didn't think anything of. I thought, oh, it's probably just lost signal. And then the cot thing next to me with the bright lights where they checked the baby were flickering a little bit. And I was like, okay, a bit odd. And then they came back. And then it was all talking. And the radio was still doing the same thing. Nobody said a thing. And then midwives came in. And I was like, oh my God, giving me a heart attack. And we looked at the clock and was like, what the hell's happening? Like, we thought, like, how we was feeling, how long we was sat in there for, kind of made sense when we looked at the clock, because it was like 1:30 gone on to 6:30. But the, like, middle, I don't know what the middle hand's called, going around constantly like that. It was going crazy. And I was like, okay, that's scary. And it just stopped. It was like, oh yeah, ignore the clock, it does that all the time. It's actually 2:30. I was like, I want to get out of this room, can we get to ward now? I'm scared. But because of the time it was when I was going back down to ward, Johnny wasn't allowed with, well, either Johnny or Danny wasn't allowed with me, and because Johnny was with Nathan, I let him go, and Danny had all their stuff left where my ward were. So I went down with her, and when we got there, Lara got settled and quickly gave her a hug, and she gave me my birth present, which was really nice. She wanted me to open it before I had Lara, but I was like, no. I was like, I'll open everything else, but the push present I want after I've actually gave birth, because if it goes badly, at least I'll feel positive about something after. But luckily it didn't. It was a really positive experience, and then it just made my day to go back on ward and open this really lovely gift from her. No, Mommy, you've got to see. Is it a...
You can either wear it as a choker or you can wear it as a double wrap over bracelet.
Ooh.
If you need a bigger size, smaller size, let me know.
But yeah, it's just a little elephant and it's dead cute. She's got me elephant themed everything with the gifts, which was really nice. And I saw her off and it was just me and Lara to chill through the night, and she was feeding every hour up until about 4 o'clock in the morning, and then she was sleeping for longer stretches. But she was so good at feeds, I had no worries at all. But I didn't mind, I wasn't tired, I was just full of adrenaline and I didn't want to sleep. And I was writing stuff in my notes, ready for my birth blog, because I'm going to do a written version of this as well. And I was just so emotional at the time, just proper reliving the moment and everything. And I was taking pictures and sending messages to people, and then it got to around 7-8 o'clock in the morning. I told more people that wasn't family, so just close friends. I let them know, sent them a picture and was like, it's there. And then sent them a picture and was like, yeah, you was right, it was a girl. Or, no, shocked it, he was wrong. Yeah, announced the name, let them know how it was, and then I FaceTimed my best friend, which was lovely. She was just about to go to work and I was like, here she is. It was really nice to do that. Birth was a really positive experience. My midwife was amazing, she just kind of let me get on with it. And then after the birth, with breastfeeding and stuff, she didn't interrupt at all. I didn't need any help. She just came and she was like, oh, okay, you've got it, I'll leave you to it then. And then she came with toast, which I didn't really feel the need to include, but bless her, because I was on my own. It's been a while since I've had to multitask, because Logan doesn't need holding, he can just sit and feed. So I can do stuff and multitask with him, but with her I was like, oh my god, I'm an absolute newbie to this. So she did the toast for me, bless her. And I was able to eat it and feed her at the same time. Midwives on ward as well when I got back, the ones that were checking on me, like, is she feeding? Because they like to track feeds while she's in hospital. It's like, oh yeah, that's great, she's feeding really often, she's done enough nappies, more than we expected. Really positive. There was like, you're doing really well with this, you're looking well, did you even give birth? There was all a little bit shocked at how fast it went, because the nurse that actually took me down to labour ward, when she came in and I was breastfeeding Lara for the first time, I was like so giddy. I just remember saying to her, I was like, she's latched on so well. And I remember her from Logan, and she spent so much time with me trying to get like the latch right and show me different positions because he had latch issues. So I was just like so happy to tell her, and she was just looking at me a bit gone, I'm like, hold on, there's a baby. when did this happen? Like, oh, we just saw it in and bringing your stuff down. Yeah, she brought my stuff and she was like, I may as well take them back, she'll be back down at ward soon. She's like, congratulations. So yeah, I took most people by surprise, to be fair. I don't think they believed I was in labour at first. It only took 58 minutes, so she came fast. And then the next morning, Johnny came to see me. We had Bounty come around, which, if you're in the UK, you probably know what Bounty is. Come around and take a free photo of your baby, and you can have the chance to purchase more, which is expensive, but it's worth it sometimes, depending on how good the photographer is. I didn't buy any, but the photos were quite nice actually. It was really cute. They came around in the morning, and then I had my checks done, and then we waited for the paediatrician to check her over, which she didn't care about. She didn't cry once. She got naked and she was just so chilled out, had her hips done. She was like, they usually cry at this, are you ready? She was gutted because she didn't cry, but she was just so chilled out. Nothing wrong with her, she's all fine so far. So far we've had no issues, and every checkup we've had, it's all been really positive with her. And we got discharged home, so from going it, well, since having the baby and getting sent home was about, I think it was under 12 hours, I think, or just around 12 hours. It would have been a lot sooner, but the paediatrician was so busy. We got home and I was just so excited to see Logan. I was really nervous with how he was going to react to her there, but I'm going to leave a video here on him reacting to seeing her for the first time. It's so cute.
I'll just leave the
Oh!
Your little sister.
Oh no, you make me emotional, stop.
It's your little sister, Logie Bun. nice. You need to be really soft, yeah?
Yeah, he was super happy to meet his sister. Everyone warned me, like, he's 16 months old, he's not going to understand, he didn't understand you're pregnant or anything like that, but he always used to come up to my bump and poke it and go, bye-bye, bye-bye, and give it kisses. So I think he did know. I think getting him to bond during pregnancy, like, made him aware and expect the moment to come. I thought he was too young, and it was just, I don't know, just his words, because he babbles a lot. I don't think he did understand it, but it was really cute. But just seeing him see her for the first time, I was like, oh, maybe he did understand. It was really sweet. He's been really good with her so far. Well, past 2 days he's been a little bit jealous, but for the first week of her life, he's been so protective, cuddling her, kissing her, even sharing a pram and having naps together. It's been really nice. Like, he's already so close, and she's really content with him. I think that's everything covered of my birth story off the top of my head. That wasn't included on the video because there was a huge chunk that was missing from when I was messing around with the TENS machine to me actually going into labour. I also wanted to include Logan meeting her for the first time, and also I've had a few questions on where I got a name from, because it's quite an uncommon name, as I've been told, and I've had so many compliments actually. No, she's not named after Lara Croft either. I've had a lot of questions on that too. As you may know from the baby name videos, if you've been here a while, we compromised on a girl's name and was quite set on it from the very start. I mean, you might not expect how a name is pronounced. It's already been confused for Alicia, but it's Alicia. I loved that name last year with Logan, and it just stuck. And Johnny loved the name Lara, which I was like, okay, yeah, we'll go for that. It goes really nice with Logan, and plus, this is a really sad reason, but it's where she was conceived. We went on our holiday to Turkey, that's where she was conceived, and we were staying next to the resort, Lara Beach, and fell in love with the place, so kind of fits. I mean, if we named Logan after where he was conceived, which Danny does nickname him because of it, we would have probably named him Maggie. Every time we go on holiday I'm pregnant. You need to stop. Another question we have been asked a lot is, are we going to have any more? Pregnancy did put me off having more, but after a birth I'd have loads more, but I'm quite content with 2. I've got 1 of each for now, and I'm in no rush to have any more. And if I don't have any more, I'm happy, because I've got 1 of each, and I'd be grateful for 2, because I've got someone to grow up with. They've got each other, but I'd like 2 more. I've wanted to have 4 kids for quite a lot of years. I've been set on that. I think it's quite a nice number, but I definitely want a huge age gap between her and the next one, so about 7 years, maybe. Probably happen sooner than that, knowing Alec, but ideally 7 years. End it here. I'm sorry if it's a bit everywhere. It's just so hard to relive it and then remember everything and then tell your story. I will be doing a written version of this, which I will be including in the description when I finally get around to it. It's super hard to get anything done with 2 under 2 at the moment, but we're getting a routine sorted now that we're into a week of it, so hopefully things will go up on time on both here and the blog. I want to say a massive thank you to Baby TENS for gifting me their TENS machine. It was really good to use. We had such a laugh with it during labour. It was good to get me from 4 centimetres to dilated before I went to labour ward. It was amazing. It didn't die. It was so strong. It helped get me through them without any pain relief anyway before I needed that gas and air. I did rip it off before going into the labour room because 1, I was really sweaty, and 2, my waters had just gone, and the thought of electricals and waters just put me off a bit, so I took it off and left it in the room. But it's not just useful for labour, it has been amazing so far for postpartum, because oh my god, the pains the second time around on your second baby is much worse. I don't want to scare anyone if you're on your second baby, but oh my god, they're really intense, especially if you're breastfeeding. They burn. But that TENS machine, I've used it when the pains have been bad, and it's brilliant. So thank you for gifting me that, and I will be doing a full review on that shortly as well. In future videos I'm going to be doing monthly updates on Lara and her milestones and how she's getting on, and an update on my recovery and my weight loss. At the moment I really don't care about my weight at all, and my belly is going down so fast. I look quite chubby, that's it. I just look bloated and have a really jelly belly, that's it. But I'll probably put that weight back on, because breastfeeding and half make you crave crap food. Because I know I have a little girl now, I've bought so many clothes, so I'll be doing a baby clothes haul as well. So if you'd like to see that, keep an eye out. Any video suggestions that you do want to see on anything on the channel, feel free to suggest it below. And that's everything. So if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a like, and if you're not subscribed, press that button now and the bell button so you don't miss any updates from me. And thanks for watching.